All right. Here we are back in the Basement Sim VR version. We are doing okay from a performance standpoint. We had real problems before. I've fixed them, but these overcast skies are definitely testing the sim. It may prompt me to actually knock it down one notch in anti-aliasing. Didn't really help at all. Clouds are still a challenge, I think, in VR. And it just is what it is. I also think that this Move VR app does hit the CPU performance enough to make a difference. What do I think about the Air Force Labs King Air, Captain Mike? I don't know. I haven't used it. Sounds like a good idea. But I don't think I can really say. Because, again, I have not used it, so I don't really know. Have you used it? What do you think? Do you like it? All right, let's get ready to go here. What are we doing? We are starting the engine. That goes on. Beacon light goes on. Master and nav. Yeah, I'm afraid that this thing might be the problem. Honestly. I hope not, although it's been working pretty well. Let's see if we really... It's telling me it's set as overcast cumulus, although it's listed as broken in the METAR. Let's download the METAR and see if it's any better now. METAR calls it broken, not overcast. It's still saying overcast. Okay, well, we'll do our best. I've just seen the pictures. Yeah, I saw some pictures. They look nice, I have to say. Okay. Today we're going to fly direct to Boise. I wonder why this thing isn't. I wonder if I bump my tracker a little bit. The sensors for the VR, if you bump them, they can screw up how things get seen. I'm trying to get this set in a good way here. Try that. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. We're on Pilot Edge. There's probably some traffic, so we might want to actually put in some AI aircraft so we can see them on the traffic display. There we go. The new Idaho Falls scenery. Mike, is that payware? Is it default? What's going on with that? Okay. Everything seems to be working here. Let's get the weather. Boy, this is just jaggy. Why is it so? It's almost like ASW isn't working. Thought I had all this fixed. That's without asynchronous space warp. That actually seems to be a little better. Yeah, okay, we'll work with that for a minute, see how that goes. Frames have dropped to 30 for some reason. They were at 45 when we started. CPU is being hit harder than GPU. What could be doing that? I think it's the Chrome stuff, actually. I think it's these plugins. They're not as efficient as they need to be yet. Hopefully they'll be more efficient. Payware scenery. Yeah, so Jamie, it actually works generally best for me when I lock at 45, but right now it's not working as well, so we're going to try it without it and see how that goes. Okay. Let's see here. Burley. 135.575.
Burley Mooney weather. Wind 050 at 6.
I think it's the clouds that are my problem.
Visibility more than 10.
050 at 6.
Sky conditions 10,000 overcast. Temperature 13, dew point 8. Altimeter 2994.
Okay.
Burley Mooney weather. Wind 050 at 6. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 10,000 overcast.
050 at 6.
Temperature 13, dew point 8. Altimeter 2.
Yeah, I haven't noticed a big performance difference with the shadows, actually. I can actually modify that script right now because I run it as a Lua script. So we can turn them down for the clouds and see how that helps us real quick. I like them sharper in the airplane, but since we are completely overclassed, let's change them to 512. Save, and then we will reload our Lua scripts real quick. That seems to have helped a little bit. Okay, good by me. We're getting better frames now. Now let's try to lock it and see how it goes at 45. Not as good. I still think it's competing with, I think 3J FPS is managing it pretty aggressively, and I think when that happens sometimes they fight with each other. All right, let's start the airplane. Oops. Okay. I can put this away. It's on my knee. All right, so Burley to Boise. Looks like it's about 124 nautical miles. That'll take us less than an hour to do. We are logged into Pilot Edge, just so we're prepared. We'll pick up flight following when we're in the air. And make the most of that. Yeah, I turned the shadows down quite a bit. I turned them down to their normal crappy selves, and it seems to have helped since it's all overcast. I don't like how the shadows look. They're not sharp enough for me, but I darkened them up a lot, and that looks better on sunny days. I did all that Lua script testing over the past couple days. Yesterday I was having huge problems. It was almost unflyable for anybody who watched the stream. And I updated drivers. I did a million different things today. I seem to have things running pretty well. I think one of the things that I had as a problem is I had the Oculus software limited to one of the cores, and I freed it up to all the other cores, and that seems to have helped. Okay, so we've got the weather. We're on 122.9, which is the CTAF. The winds were from 0.5. So if we're looking at Burley, our runway choices. .06 look like it's the one we want. Let's just check the weather one more time to be sure.
Burley Mooney weather. Wind 0.50 at 6. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 10,000 overcast. Temperature 13, dew point 8. Altimeter 2994.
Yep. Burley traffic, November 15, Julia Golf taxiing to 06 Burley. Okay. Yeah, I keep my ground shadows off. I think it was just the cloud shadows that were hurting me too. Hello, FS Madness. Good to see you. We're flying Burley to Boise today. In our virtual world, we came in here to do some fly fishing on the Snake River. Okay, let's lean this. Check our controls, up, down. Performance right now is pretty good. Thanks for the tip, Mike, on the, or Jimmy, on the shadows. I probably wouldn't have taken the time to do that if you hadn't reminded me. It's a little stuffy in here. Just wanted to see how the motor sounds when it leans. Come on. There we go. Okay. That sounds good. That sounds fun. You ever, Jimmy, you live in St. George, isn't that right? Okay, we're taxiing to 05. Take my hands off the controller here for a minute. I haven't flown under overcast conditions since I modified my script, my Lua. There were a number of good scripts online to modify visuals by modifying data refs. Some from Soft Clouds was one. FS Enviro or FS Enhancer was another. I mean, Enviro Plus was another. I looked at them, and I really spent some time playing with data refs on my own and came up with some looks that I think I really liked. I also improved the cloud set. This is one of the clouds from those packages. I'm not sure which one. Let's do a run up here, actually. Really quickly turn into the wind. Let's get our heading book set to 05. There's been no flying or 06. There's been no flying in Tampa this week because of the weather, so I'm just happy to be doing some here. Bring up the power. Let's adjust for peak performance. Mixture. It's like 2220 is our highest. Magnetos. 80% drop, 80 point drop. 70 drop, 80 drop, that's good. Everything looks green across the board. Boost pump off. Fuel flow is positive. Throttle back. Let's get ready with our center frequency. Looks like we are on Salt Lake Center at 118.05. Does that look like? What? I can't quite tell. Salt Lake Burley, 118.05, right? Yeah. Looks right. Yep. Good morning, TJ. Good to see you. Sand Hollow's got a nice golf course, if I remember correctly. I don't know if you play. Okay, run-up is done. Radios are set. GPS is set. Altimeter is set. Taxi out to 06. If you didn't tune in, I logged on about an hour ago and played a little bit of Digital Combat Simulator in VR. It was awesome. Absolutely almost made me throw up. Okay, here we're crossing 0220. Nobody coming. I'm trying to remember if I turned the anti-icing back on. I did. Looks like whoever made this airport forgot to put an exclusion zone in down here because we've got trees in the middle of the tarmac. If you're designing scenery, you got to be sure to put in exclusion zones, otherwise it'll put forests and stuff. Luckily, we can just drive right through them. It's funny. I know I'll have to go in and fix that. Eventually, I can't take it. Right through the yucca plant. Whap. Okay, here we are at 06. Okay. Final checks. Everything else is ready to go. Let's take a look at this. I do like to fish for trout. Okay. Close this. Noise canceling on. Straps. Flaps. Trim. All nose up for takeoff. And we're ready to go. Burley traffic, November 15 Juliet Golf, departing 06 Burley. Okay. And then, since we're going to be heading to the northwest, we'll make a 45-degree turn to the left off departure and exit the pattern. Nobody coming. Lined up. That's quite good. Final control checks. That set. Flaps 1. Elevators are go. Engine instruments are green, full power. RPMs are good. Beat off the brakes. Engine instruments are green. Airspeed's alive. On the center line. She wants to go. We're up. You're up. There goes the Snake River. We're going to go out at 8,500 feet. That'll keep us under the cloud deck. Flaps. No, not that way. There we go. Okay, make our turn. Exit the pattern. Burley traffic, November 15 Julie Golf, exiting the pattern off the 45 left from 06. Last call, Burley. Okay. Performance right now is quite good, for whatever reason. Trout is the state bird of Utah, you're right. Okay, let's switch over to center. Get out of the pattern here. And make our turn. Oops. Come on. It's not, oh, because it's slaved down here, that's why. There we go.
14291 Sierra radar contact.
Okay, make our turn.
Direction west-southwest of D12 speed 1.
Power lines. Keep going up. It's our desired track. .287. Say goodbye to Burley. You can see the tower blinking there. That looks nice and realistic. Get ready to get our transponder set here. I can't hear the engines very well because I have the noise cancellation off. See? I also have them turned down because there's something about the way with the F mod sounds, depending on how you turn your head, things sound different. Listen.
Before Matters, Solar City, ground.
At least for me.
17, taxi to Kilo.
But I can hear them okay. I can also feel them because I have my butt kicker going. All right, coming up to altitude. How's it sound from your perspective? Back off the manifold pressure a little bit. Back off the prop. Trim, trim, trim. Let's get us leaned. Want to be 50 degrees rich at peak. You know, I didn't go through my checklist. Conditions like this, let's turn on our recognition lights and strobes. Okay. $16.20. $16.40. $16.50. Keep leaning it. $16.60. $16.70. All right, $16.70. So we'll go back rich to about the $16.20. Visibility is not great. But manageable. Okay, so we're now about 10 miles northwest of the Burley VOR. Let's call center. Salt Lake Center, November 15 Julie Golf, VFR request.
November 15 Julie Golf, go ahead.
We're just 10 miles northwest off the Burley VOR, 8,500. We're in M20P. We'd like advisories to Boise, Bravo, Oscar, Indigo.
November 15 Julie Golf, maintain VFR and squawk 6147.
6147, 15 Julie Golf. Okay. Got advisories. We're at 8,500 feet. It's cloudy.
15 Juliet Golf, radar contact 24 miles northeast of the Twin Falls VOR, maintain VFR.
Maintain VFR, 15 Julie Golf.
15 Juliet Golf is 8,500, your planned cruising altitude?
Affirm. Got a couple little clouds here we got to avoid. The cloud layer is actually set to be 8,500 AGL in the METAR, so interesting to me that we've got clouds here, but you know, clouds can be unpredictable. Jet seat. So can I put the jet seat like on a normal seat, Jimmy? Because I sit in a normal chairs. Big and tall. No, it's because again I've got the noise canceling. I've got the noise canceling on. It makes it easier for me to hear the calls and everything. I have them turned down a little bit. It's hard for me to know exactly where the sound is for what you're hearing versus what I'm hearing, because I don't hear the exact same thing that you hear in the stream. But if I do this, can you hear them better? You should be able to, right? Now you can't hear me. So I usually have it on when I start, and then I turn them off. digital flight. It depends on how you have it configured. I wouldn't describe it as blurry. You can adjust the super sampling of it, which is how it oversamples. If you have it not oversampled, it is blurry. I have mine oversampled at a factor of 1.7, and for me it's quite sharp. It's still not as sharp as looking at a high-def TV, but for example, I can read those frequencies just fine, 118.05, 122.9. And if in doubt, I can just zoom. We'll have to check out the jet seat. The butt kicker is component heavy, that's for sure. All right, we're coming in onto our GPS. Pretty good job of rendering this stuff. I wonder how many frames I'll lose if I turn off the cloud adjustments in OBS or in 3J FPS. Let's see. Auto cloud density off. Oh, I didn't really lose any frames. Auto cloud left side off. No, I didn't really lose any frames with that either. All right, well, then we'll stay with it. More overcast skies. I think that's probably Gooding there, right? KJER. Nope. There we go, Jerome. Okay. So we're right about here. Let's get back on our GPS heading. I could set that to show me my cross-track error if I wanted. Yep, there you go.
Over 49er Zulu, Salt Lake Tower. Runway 17, clear for takeoff, 11508.
Well, it's doing pretty well considering overcast skies. The haze looks great. Really looks like the visibility is low. I'm not sure where the next stop is after this. I think I have to design the airport for it. I don't know if I have the patience to do that right now. But we started in...
Go ahead.
Hello, Rondi. Yeah, I think I've always thought the butt kicker is worth it, but now Jimmy's making me think I need to sell mine and get a jet seat. Sounds cool. We're wandering here a little bit. Looks like we've got traffic off to our side, no factor. Can't see him. Sometimes this is so realistic feeling it's creepy. This is one of those times. Okay, we've passed that little field. Must be unlit. I don't see it. We can tell on the charts if it's lit or not. No, it says it's lit. Okay, north-south road coming out of here. We should see the highway coming up out here. We are chasing the needle. Don't chase the needle. There's power lines. Those look pretty realistic. Power lines right there, okay. Coming up to Gooding Airport.
For correct altitude for direction of flight, can you accept 7,000? Have a chance everyone might come in at 7,000.
MUO. We already passed Gooding.
Level 4 and under Zulu radar contact, say altitude leaving. Level 4 and under Zulu, I concur, and contact Salt Lake departure, have a good flight.
There's the MOA. Okay.
Over 49 Zulu, Salt Lake City departure for Roger. And just verify you're over the, you're heading over towards the I-15. And over 49 Zulu, yeah, as soon as you get over I-15, I'll be able to find you higher.
Yeah, so I use the sim shaker right now, Jimmy, to run the butt kicker. Is that the same thing? I mean, does it use the sim shaker or does it use its own stuff? Gooding coming up.
Zulu, I-15 is the interstate that runs north-south along the to the east of Salt Lake Airport.
So let's review our
49 Zulu, Roger, thanks. Break Lufthansa 175, Oakland Center, Roger.
let's review our route to date. We went G&G Gooding should be right up there. There's the town. The airport.
November 49 Zulu, what's your requested VFR cruising altitude today?
There's the airport right there. Beacon light isn't on today.
November 49 Zulu, proceed on course and climb to your requested VFR.
Sounds like we're loading scenery or something. So, you too, TG. Great, go for it. We'll have to look into it, for sure. Yeah, so there's Gooding, Idaho. So we started in, there's the airport. We started in Half Moon Bay, flew outside of Sacramento. See if I can remember all the places. Then went to Reno, and then went to We went to Nevada, some town in Nevada, and then we went to Wendover, and then we went to Salt Lake City, and then we went to Roosevelt, Utah, and then we went to Yampa, Colorado. Then we went over the top to Denver, and then we went out to someplace in Kansas, and then down south to another place in Texas, and then down past Amarillo to the very south, down into the furthest southeastern tip of the pilot edge coverage service territory. Then we flew up to a town on the way to El Paso. Then we went to El Paso. Then we went up to Truth or Consequences. And then for Truth or Consequences, we went to Bullfrog, Lake Powell. We went to the Lake Powell area by Navajo Mountain. Then we went up to Bullfrog and Cal Black, and then up to Wayne Wonderland, 38U, and then we went from Wayne Wonderland to Salt Lake, and then Salt Lake to Burley, and now Burley to Boise. And we've got about 2 or 3 more hops left till we're up in Seattle, and then we'll be at the far northwestern corner of the pilot edge territory. Then I think I'm going to fly along the top of the U.S. border to the far northeast corner, and then fly down southwest to San Diego to the far southwest corner, and then back up to up the coast with the VFR transition. If I'm feeling sporting, maybe we'll try for the mini route through the LAX Bravo, then fly back up the coast Half Moon Bay. That I think is the program, but we'll see. Okay, jet seat. That's what we'll do. I'll check it out. How many cables does it have? Does it connect via USB? How do you connect it to the PC? Does it go through an audio input? How does that work? Because I know with the butt kicker it plugs into the stereo jack. Okay, we're past Gooding. Coming up to the terrain here. We should be able to clear that, but we want to be mindful of it. Okay, well that's enough for me to check it out, that's for sure. Alright, we've got some clouds here we need to be aware of. The clouds are looking good. This is looking quite real to me. Looks like overcast conditions with sort of spotty, hazy stuff going on. There's some rain coming up. I don't know if we'll have rain or not, but rain doesn't bother me. I'll dodge these clouds. That looks really, in 3D, that looks really pretty realistic. Actually, it's very, very cool.
And number 49 Zulu, you're approaching an area where the minimum IFR altitude is over 10,000. I see you at 7,500. Verify you do have the terrain inside.
Yeah, don't run into the terrain. That would be bad.
Roll 49 Zulu, thanks.
Just avoiding this cloud here.
Over 28 Sierra November, contact Oakland Center 128.7. Over 28 Sierra November, Oakland Center, the Paso Robles, altimeter 2998.
Okay, these clouds are starting to hit the frames a little bit. I think we're getting a little further off track. I'm going to get past this cloud here, and then we're going to go this way. Oh, it's loading something. Probably terrain. These clouds are rotating with me. They're 2D clouds. The default X-plane cloud has some pretty awesome volumetric clouds that look great in weather like this. But this is not unacceptable. Out the side window, it looks quite realistic. Like that, looks pretty good there. So there's that out there. We don't want to end up scun running here. I've got a couple of flickers. Flicker. Get back on our route. Only
715 Juliet Golf, contact Big Sky approach 119.6, good day.
Go to Big Sky on 119.6, 15 Juliet Golf. Okay, we just had a cloud update. Get back to our altitude. Big Sky approach, November 15 Juliet Golf, 7,500 climbing.
November 15 Juliet Golf, Big Sky approach the Boise altimeter 2993.
903, 15 Juliet Golf. Okay. Looks like we've got some blue sky out there in some parts, guys. What the hell? What was that? That was freaky. No, James, I'm not. Xenviro 1.09, in my experience, I downloaded it, did not work in VR at all. It was a mess. It was only works in one eye and all kinds of graphic artifacts. It was really not very attractive. Okay, back on our path. Get back up to 8,500 feet. This is default clouds with some additional clouds. There are 6 cloud sets in the default cloud package. I have replaced number 3, 4, and 5 with higher def clouds. And then I've also tweaked data refs just to get visuals that I like. And then finally the sky color, the sky textures are also from a package that I found on the .org. They're from the soft cloud pack. I think their sky, his sky textures look really, really solid. Okay, so we're going to just avoid this terrain here. Start getting ready to come into Boise. Start getting the prep ready for the Big Sky approach. Let's see what we got with Boise. ATIS is 123.9. Get ready for that. We are 50 miles out. We won't get the weather quite yet. I'm going to stay out of this cloud deck. Looks awesome. Looks really, really good. No wing walking, that's right. Yeah, I think they look good, all things considered. And when there's scattered clouds, the shadows look quite good. I darken the shadows. I always thought the shadows are way too faint. In X-plane, I now have a working theory that they are faint by intention because they don't want you to notice how much they flicker. which they haven't fixed yet. Okay, Boise is about 2,800 feet. We're going to be at 85, so call it 3. So 85 down to 3, pattern altitude is going to be 4,000 feet once we get to it. So 8,500 down to 4,000, that's 4,500 feet. We got to lose 500 feet a minute. That's going to be 9 minutes. 9 minutes at 140 knots is going to be about
Santa Barbara approach 120.55.
20, 23 miles. It's already telling me I'm approaching my VNAV profile. That's good. We're not going to lose any altitude until we get over these mountains, I can tell you that.
November 28 Sierra November, contact Santa Barbara approach 120.55.
There we go. Back at 85, which is where we wanted to be. Mountains are looking good. Light scattering looks good. Haze looks good. All told, I'm very impressed with this. Apropos that I would do a that I would have a overcast flight after playing with all that stuff. All right, let's switch tanks. We're a little overdue to do that. Boost pump on. Switch this baby over to the right. Positive fuel flow. Okay. Got a little bit of a crossing tailwind. Okay, we're coming past this terrain. That must be the reservoir up there I'm seeing. Maybe, maybe not. Hard to know. Could be low-level fog. Could just be an artifact. Okay, there's the reservoir. So we're about right in here. Boy, this looks cool. I just can't get over it. I mean, I was so close to hooking up the physical cockpit stuff today and trying to stream this on the GoPro. And then I just started thinking, well, but it's going to look so great in VR.
November 4 Nana Zulu, contact Salt Lake City approach 135.5, getting.
Breaks it through to blue sky out there. There I am with the weird wing walking there for a second. Okay, so again, 9.5 minutes. Is that what I said? 9 minutes? 8,500 down to 4. Yeah, that would be nine minutes. We want to be down at that altitude a minute ahead of time. So I'll call it 10 minutes. So we're about 3 minutes from starting our descent. There we go. Okay, let's pull up a map if we can.
November 4 Nana Zulu, Salt Lake City approach.
Come on. Show me a taxi diagram. I wonder why it's not doing it. There we go. Huh. Yeah, and I actually keep it in my hand when I use the throttle and stuff too. Jimmy, it just takes practice. So we've got 28 right and 28 left. And 10 right and 10 left. And GA parking is, I guess I could turn this thing this way and make it easier to read, couldn't I? GA parking is on the north side. Okay, so we'll request 10 left or 28 right. Okay. Oh, there's general aviation parking on either side. Well, I don't know which one to pick, truth be told. We'll see what he gives us. If he asks us, given the side we're coming from, I haven't gotten the weather yet. Let's see if we can get the stats and if we can get the weather. Big Sky approach November 15, Juliet Golf. Like to check Boise, ATIS.
Number 15 Juliet Golf, frequency change approved for callback on.
Roger, Wilco, 15 Juliet Golf. 123.9.
Boise Air Terminal, Gowan Field, information for that. 1500 Zulu weather. Wind light and variable, visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 4,700 few, 7,500 scattered, 10,000 overcast, temperature 2.10. Altimeter 2990. Arriving runway 10 right, departing runway 10 left. Advise on initial contact you have for them.
We'll see if they do that. Approach 15 Juliet Park.
15 Juliet Golf, welcome back.
Hey, Big Tom. Good to see you. All right, time to begin our descent. Descent checklist. We've got our lights set, throttle back. Manifold pressure, let's get into the blue arc. Start slowing down the airplane a little bit. There's the edge of the Bravo or the Charlie airspace. That terrain up there, we should be to the side of. Start getting ready for tower. One 8.1. Jimmy, I find with the Oculus controller, it's kind of like flying a real airplane, small movements. No big ones. Andre shop jet seat, I'll have to check it out. We may ask for a long landing here so that we don't have to taxi all the way down to the end of, and all the way into GA. So we can fish the Boise River too, here on our virtual fishing tour, while we're at it.
Number 717 Tango Sierra North approach, limit SO altimeter 29904.
Nice stable descent going on here. Well, this feels like a short flight. Maybe I'll do another one next, later in the afternoon. What time is it? 12:30. Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to get any real or virtual flying in this week, coming week. This is a bummer, but it's just the reality. So we'll see. Depends on what's going on with the family. But I think the next flight takes us to, I don't remember what I have mapped out, someplace in Washington. I think somewhere between here and Spokane. All right. I think we have the field. Sure looks like the field, doesn't it? Yeah. We're 17 miles out. Coming up to Charlie airspace. Lucky Peak Dam. Sipping gas, 5 gallons an hour. Doing 160 knots over the ground. Gotta love it. Powered descent. Okay, we are coming up. Haze on the mountains looks great. There's a mod to make the road textures transparent, which I think I'm going to do because it breaks the immersion, I think. All right, we're going to hold it here because we're close enough to the ground for a minute. And we're coming close to 5,000 feet, which is going to be our pattern altitude anyway. Well, 3,800 feet. So we've got a little bit to go. But we're close enough to the ground for my comfort level. That said, we can keep slowing the aircraft. With a little manifold pressure.
15 Juliet off the Boise airport at your 12 o'clock and 13 miles reported in sight.
We have Boise, 15 Juliet go.
And 15 Juliet off, in that case, radar services terminated, contact Boise Tower 118.1, good.
Go to Boise on 118.1, 15 Juliet go. Boise Tower, 15 Juliet Golf is inbound for full stop.
And November 15 Juliet Golf, Boise Tower, you're landing on the north or the south, no, are you parking on the north or the south side?
We'll take Southside GA, please.
November 15 Juliet Golf, rudder into the right downwind, runway 10 right, report midfield.
Right downwind for 10 for right downwind for 10 right, report midfield, 15 Juliet Golf.
Yeah, it is a mouthful, isn't it?
It is a mouthful. Okay, 10 right. Right downwind. You can see the beacon, which is there. Right. Okay. Recognition lights off, landing lights are on, strobes on, nav on, beacon on, slowing the airplane, coming down to altitude. 2871. Okay. Coming down to 3,800 feet. Right downwind for 10 right. We're looking good. We're in a fine spot to put in the gear if we need to. One last look at the chat. All right, sterile cockpit. That looks very real with the beacon. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good. Don't know what's going on. Major problems. Oh. Who the hell knows what that was? But we're back. 400 feet to go before we are at pattern altitude. Let's take a little more manifold pressure out. Okay. Should we ask for permission to buzz the tower? No, probably not. That's interesting. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Okay. We're on the right downwind. Frames are holding up okay. We're going to request a long landing because the GA parking is down there. Right, there's the A&G ramp. Oh no, the GA parking is right where we're landing. So we're going to practice a short field approach. Right? Yeah. That's our parking spot right there. I got distracted there. Boise Tower 15 Juliet Golf midfield 10 right.
15 Juliet Golf 1140 at 7 runway 10 right, clear to land.
Clear to land 10 right, 15 Juliet Golf. There's the A&G. The GA parking's down there. Okay. A little low. We're gonna ask for a short, practice a short approach. Boise Tower 15 Juliet Golf, like to practice a short approach. I assume that's a yes. Flaps, gear. Coming down, coming down. He never responded, so I just did it anyway. Final flaps. Over the marker. little firm. I was fully deflected. I couldn't get out of the pressure, manifold pressure soon enough. And now the brakes don't work at all. Like, come on, what is this? Oh, it's the worst. It is the worst. It's the worst. The way X-Plane handles this stuff is just terrible. Maybe I can go in and adjust the manifold, the tire pressure. There's like a grip setting in the aircraft file. Maybe I can go fix that. I got to taxi through the A and G ramp, past all the F4s that are the only fighter that's available in the default scenery. Well, that short approach was not as good as it could have been. I was a little close to the field, but we made it. We had plenty of time. I just didn't manage the descent well. Can't grease them all. Flaps. Yeah, I mean, he told me I was clear to land. It really didn't matter what my pattern was going to be. Boise Tower 15 Juliet Golf is clear of 10 right.
15 Juliet Golf, Boise Tower, taxi to parking via Bravo. You can remain this frequency. Good night.
Parking via Bravo, stay on this frequency 15 Juliet Golf, thanks. Okay. Yeah, so the brakes just don't, they just,
717 Tango Sierra, descend out
they don't grip.
Maintain 3000.
Like even there, like that was full brakes, full brake deflection. Like in the real airplane, you slam on the brakes, the thing, I mean, you slam on the brakes. So we'll have to figure that out. Maybe it's just the setting in the Alabao I need to tweak. Okay, so we're in Boise. That's exciting. We've got a 12-hour taxi down to general aviation parking down here after we're past the Air National Guard ramp. I had pulled the yoke back so far there on my flare that I think I pulled the panel forward a couple inches. Yep. GA parking is down there. That's not too far. Let's go down here.
When you have the emergency to weather and say approach request.
Go park with the light Learjets. Well, that's an interesting thing that he did. He, I wonder how he did that. He built like a facade, and then he stuck the hangar door out front from one of the small hangars. That's interesting. I gotta figure out how he did that. We'll go take a look in a minute. Okay. We'll go park over here with the citations. Oh, fuel truck. Okay. Welcome to Boise. Flaps are up. Lights are off. It's off. Avionics. Off. Throttle back. Bring back the manifold pressure. Bring back the richness. The mixture. Okay. We have arrived in Boise, Idaho. Yeah, so here we are. On the ramp. Our next flight, if I remember. I'm not sure that I do. But I think it's about an hour, and I think we're going... We're going somewhere up here, I think. I think we're going all the way to Spokane. I think we're going somewhere in here. I'll have to look. We might be going there to Grant County. But if we back up the map here a little bit, we can see that if we're thinking about hops, we're doing about an hour at a time. We've got about 1, 2, 3, and then I think I'm going out of Seattle because I think I wanted to land at Seattle. I think we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 hops left, and we'll be up here. And then from there, we're going to fly up across the top, go over into here. Right in here is the edge of the pilot edge service territory. That's those lines there. And then we're going to cross it this way, down to San Diego, crossing some of the same territory we've been across, but down, stop in Las Vegas, and then up to here. And then we will have done quite a route. Huh. Interesting, comes from Russia. Okay, we'll close this. All right. Well, we're here. We made it. Thanks, everybody, for being along for the ride. I'm going to go check out how he made these. I want to see how he made these. So that's a normal small hangar. And then on that side, it's just like a, maybe it's like a warehouse facade? That could be. I bet that's what it is. It's like a warehouse facade. And then what he's done, is he's placed and hidden one of the hangars, small hangars in there, so you can't see any of its stuff that has sitting next to it. That's clever. That's a new way to do it. I haven't thought about that. And that's probably a warehouse facade. Where did I go? Here he's combined them next to each other. Huh. Yeah, that's smart. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good way to do odd size hangar buildings, actually. In WED. Okay. Well, enough of that. We can go look at the tower. It's a big airport. The guy who put this together took a lot of time to do it. It's interesting how he did that building down there, that brick building. Huh. That's also probably a facade that he played with. Okay. Tower. Yeah. Cool. There's a lot you can do with WED if you're creative, if you figure out how to stick things together. And like something I've done in the past is I've put side buildings on these things to make them look different. He's done that too here. I like that glass facade he's got going. I don't know what building that is, but that looks cool. Huh. All right, whoa, no, I didn't mean to. Oh, God. All right, that's enough of that. Everybody, thanks for watching. I'll check that out. Thanks for forecasting it. and I'll look into a jet seat myself. And everybody, thanks for watching, and seems we've got the performance issues nicked out of this, which is good. And we'll see you on the next flight.